Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
Well, Conrad, I'm doing okay. How you doing?
Better than I deserve and better than Dave Silva. You and I are flying solo today. His fat ass is having a tough time out in Texas. Oh, some
Mm.
prayers up for our favorite Mexican. We are missing him today, and hope he's feeling better, man. But I think he got too hot. Is that a thing? Have you been too hot before?
You mean good looking hot?
Well, I don't think you would call in sick for that. I think he's like, just fat and hot in Texas, and that's a bad combination.
Yeah, I've never been overheated uh, that I recall.
That's
I
not
know.
what I hear. I hear you get heated every Wednesday night putting a show together.
Yeah, I I uh I did on a bicycle trail one time. I did overdo it and literally had to pull off on the side of the trail and sit down in the dirt
Wow.
and for like an hour. So like I couldn't move. So, but no, I've never been overheated or had heat stroke or anything like that. But heat affects people different ways. I'm, I'm always cold,
Right.
always cold. I mean, like right now, I'm wearing a sweatshirt with a hoodie. I wear them during the summertime all the time when I travel and everything. I wear the hoodies because
Even in
on
the
air,
summer.
yeah, on airports. Well, realistically, when I travel, I'm not outside much.
Right.
I go from the airport to the rental car to the arena to the rental car, hotel, airport. That's my line of travel when I'm on the road. And the airlines freeze you the fuck to death.
Yes.
They do. Every flight is cold, and they'll always say, "Please open up your air vents for the next passengers to keep this plane cool." And I want to go, why? It's a bucket of ice flying in the air 30,000 feet at 560 miles an hour. So I'm always cold. And that's the thing. We fight for the thermostat here. And it's not because of money. We because I'm always cold and she's she told me that. I said, we even talked about it yesterday. I said, I just don't get why you're always hot. And she said, well, you're not a woman and you've never had a period and you've never been through menopause.
Oh my.
That's what she said. I said, yeah. I said, you could just say I'm not a woman.
We could just go praise Jesus.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
want to do none of that. None of that shit sounds fun.
No, it's terrible. And so I've never had a heat stroke
Now,
or
I'm
anything like that.
wondering, do you think he's got some sort of a heat stroke or dehydration, or since we've learned that he can't watch porn in the state of Texas, do you think he's all backed up? Do you think the
That could,
poison's just going through his system? He hadn't been able to release the poison.
if you're a person that likes to release a poison on a regular basis,
Yeah.
that could be the problem.
When was the last time you released the poison? Do you recall?
No, it's been tons. It's been years.
I mean, do you think that can't be healthy? I mean,
I don't know. Maybe it's not healthy. Maybe I got a maybe I got a big old thing stuck up my ass that's getting ready to. I don't know.
hmm. No, I mean, I've never done it, but I've heard that there's like a special button you can press and it just boop shoots out. Maybe you could
No,
have Lois help you find the button.
no.
Yeah.
Oh
You don't
God,
you don't know about this?
no. That sounds terrible.
I
Because
used to
that's
work
that.
with a guy who was having some fertility issues with his wife, and they were trying to have a baby and just couldn't get the job done. And so they went to see the doctor. And of course, they needed to collect a sample. But my friend's pretty religious. So he didn't like when they tried to put him in a room with some adult DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I can't do that. I'm not doing that. So the doctor came in and said, okay, well, drop your pants. And it's a dude. And he's like, what? And he goes, no, not like that. Turn around. And he hit the button and boop, there it went. He's like, I felt violated. I didn't do anything. He did it. And it was like, wait, what is that? Hey, why is this happening? So maybe that needs to happen. Maybe you should just run down to the doctor and
Ooh.
Tune in next week when we talk about, maybe you
Nope.
remember that old Tom Green movie. Next week, we'll be running a new film here. Tony got fingered. Schiavone got fingered.
No, that ain't gonna happen.
You don't think?
No, I know it's not gonna happen.
Well, what is going to happen, and something that does sound fun, is
Yeah.
watching some old NWA TNA. Today, we're actually going to watch the very first TNA show, which is available on YouTube. You can also watch it on the TNA streaming service, Impact Plus. But I'm going to watch it on YouTube. Actually, I downloaded it already. And I encourage you to do the same. And Tony, this is a pretty fun show because it happened, as folks are listening to this, on this exact date, 22 years ago,
Oh
right
wow.
back in 2002. And of all places, Tony, believe it or not, it was in Huntsville, Alabama at the Von Braun Civic Center, which is now called the Probst Arena, a building that AEW has ran a few times. And I'm pretty fired up to watch this one. I was at this show live with my uncle HR, who's no longer with us, and it was fun, man. In the I guess at that point it had been over a year since WCW and ECW had ceased to exist, and I was hopeful that this was going to be a new alternative, and I was really excited that the first show was in Huntsville. Any chance you even had this on your radar in 2002?
Conrad, I think I was there.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I do.
You were at the first show,
I think I was backstage.
just hanging out.
There's something that tells me there's something in my brain, and this is an old brain talking. There's something in my brain that remembers me being backstage in Huntsville at the
Wow.
Von Braun Center,
Wow.
talking to Bob Ryder, and that's all I remember.
Do you remember the ring breaking right before they started the pay-per-view?
No, I don't.
They had a big heavyset fellow named Cheeks, an old Cheeks. He broke the ring right before they went live. That
Really?
that didn't ring a bell.
No, but I remember being backstage with would Jeremy Borash been there too?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Borash and Ryder were like OGs of the original
Right,
TNA. Yeah.
right, because they were with us in in
WCW.
WC
Isn't it fun all
WCW.
the different alphabet soup of wrestling companies you've worked for? Let's run through that. It was Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling, which I guess
Uh-huh.
is also Jim Crockett Promotions. So I'll count it once.
MACW.
And then WCW, and then
Uh-huh.
WWF,
Uh-huh.
WCW,
Uh-huh.
and then randomly TNA once,
Uh-huh. MLW.
MLW,
Mhm.
AEW.
All right.
Well, how many other indies along the way? Did you make a lot of indie shots?
No, none. I stayed away from them by design.
Except for that one shot in Atlanta right before AEW where we had the motherfucking Yeti.
Yeah, that's right.
That was fun.
Right.
Well, this will be fun, boys and girls. We're going to watch the very first TNA show. It went down on June 19th, 2002. Tony thinks he was there. We'll see if any of this rings a bell. I'm locked and loaded on my side, Tony. Do you have a countdown on your side?
Sure do. Uh let me
What celebrity will we hear from today?
yeah, what celebrity will we hear from today? Is everybody ready?
We're ready.
Okay, let's see if I've got this right.
Ellen DeGeneres. Hi, this is Ellen DeGeneres. I've fooled a lot of people into thinking I'm a nice person, but I'm not fooling when I introduce the two biggest idiots I know. Here are Conrad and Tony and the countdown. 3, 2, 1, play.
Well, there it is.
Yeah.
We are
Wait a
off.
sec. Wait a second. This is the old Memphis Open.
You like that, don't you?
Yeah, that's kind of. Oh, they destroyed the old Memphis Open. Got it.
I love that old
Yeah.
statue. I've got one of those.
Do you really?
Yeah. And here we are, man. The VBC. I was on the floor on the aisle side. So if you were coming down the ramp, I'd be on the left side as you're looking right here at the stage. I was on the right side. But I mean, look at that presentation. You get the big
Yeah.
pyro show and a lot of screens and a cool lighting package. I mean, for a first impression, pretty good.
Not bad at all. Not bad. Can we track the sound on this? Are we allowed to?
Sure. I mean,
Let's give it a shot.
yeah.
You want me to try to do it on my end?
No, I can do it. I just, didn't want to get demonetized, but here we go.
Oh, God bless.
Get ready for some total nonstop action. And let me introduce one of my cohorts at the announce table, the most influential man in wrestling who always has an opinion, Ed Ferrara.
So that was Don West, and here comes Ed Ferrara, and you're going to love Ed's look. Do you remember what Ed looked like here? Look at there.
Oh, yes, I do.
Man, the dreadlock look was, it was a vibe, wasn't it?
It was. I was there.
Really? You remember this?
I remember that. I remember this look by Ed. I remember going, holy shit, when I saw him.
Leather pants and a leather jacket. I mean, this dude, he looks like he owns like a straight to DVD porn company in that era. It looks like he's hyping up ass fuck cheerleaders 42 or something.
Oh,
Hey,
look at it. Look at
speaking
a
of
young
porn,
Mike Tenay. Oh,
there's
my
Mike
God.
Tenay, the biggest porn connoisseur in all of wrestling. Spread it around. So cold fact. Everybody
The
knows
Walt,
that.
the Walt Disney of wrestling.
I thought that was Vince McMahon was the Walt Disney of wrestling, but maybe it is Mike Tenay. What a booth, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Don West. I think Don West is one of the cooler, more fun guys I ever met in wrestling. And I just
Me too.
cannot believe he's no longer with us, man.
Yeah. He and I used to do this routine. We'd see each other. And he said, he said, I've done this before. He said, you and I need to start doing this. Okay. And so we see each other. We just look at each other and say, you got a fucking problem this time, motherfucker? Like we've had an argument, like
Yeah.
we've been mad at each other.
Yeah.
It was so fucking cool. Yeah. Don was great, man. Don was great. Rest in peace, brother. So
Man.
you were there. Where are you? Are you in front? Like, are we going to see you? Shout
No, I don't think I'm on camera on this one.
Okay.
I was probably 7 rows back, I'd guess, on the floor.
Okay.
This is before I knew anybody or had any hookups.
Okay.
So I had to go stand in line at the box office like an asshole. This is what you did back then in '02. This is before everybody was buying tickets online as easily,
Right.
I remember as a kid when tickets would go on sale, I would go to the payphone in high school and call Ticketmaster.
Huh.
I mean, I had the number memorized for a long time.
Yeah. We've invited Mike Tenay to come to a lot of our shows. He won't show up.
I've tried to get him to come to multiple Starcasts, and he's just,
Nope.
oh, look at my man. I love
Jeremy.
Borash, and boy, I have to bust his balls about those frosted tips. He looks like if he had a headset on, he could be singing "Back Streets Back." All right, doesn't he?
He sure does. I want it my way. Okay.
So here we go. We're introducing the legends to start the show. Just to,
Okay. Oh,
so
right.
this is not just TNA. It's NWA TNA. So it's NWA total nonstop action. And how about one of the first performers out? Harley Race, legend. That's an icon.
Remember that one guy wanted to cut a promo to the camera, that one fan. Hey, Kim, just smack him the fuck around. Yeah, so how did they get the NWA? Did they own the NWA name or they just use it?
No, it was at the time they still had a board of directors. Oh, here comes Dory Funk. They had a board of directors and things like that. And they were actually trying to use the name here. And you may actually see it on this clip. But across the bottom of the crawl of the pay-per-view, they would be plugging other NWA independent dates.
Okay.
Catch NWA in your area,
All right.
June 24th in Sheboygan, sort of deal. Oh, look at there, Jackie Fargo.
Wow.
That's
Came out
old
with
school right there, baby.
That is. So they tried to be like the old TBS days, right? The flagship of the NWA.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Except no TV, just on pay-per-view.
Right. And that's funny because oh my God,
Bullet Bob, man.
Bullet Bob. Okay.
I love he made sure to wear Zubaz pants. If
Oh,
nothing
Bob.
else, wrestlers know how to be comfortable. You know what?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it's funny. We as we're getting ready to do the Hall of Fame this summer, uh, the word came out about the Hall of Fame uh, induction ceremonies and what should you wear? And they said, "Is that Bill Barron's?" Yes,
It
it
is.
is. Yeah. Uh, the word was, "Oh, you just wear wrestler." Well, there's Ricky Steamboat. What was the word they used? I got it here somewhere.
Wrestler business casual.
Wrestler business casual, right? Which I guess would mean Zubaz. And
Put on your dress Zubaz and your dress fanny pack
and a golf shirt.
and your dress Riviera jacket
Yeah, right.
or Ribera jacket. Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. That's wrestler business casual.
Yes.
Oh God.
So Ricky the Dragon Steamboat coming in, and he's got the 10 pounds of gold. Of course, that's not a belt he actually held. Now, of course, he was the NWA champion, but that was the big gold belt that he carried at the time. But still, I like that they were trying to bridge the gap between the modern styles like AJ Styles, but also the nostalgia of the men in the ring and certainly the title itself. I thought it was pretty cool.
I do not know who the couple is on the right there, but he obviously is a
Corsica
wrestler.
Joe and Sarah Lee, but
Okay.
they weren't really on my radar either. But I understand that they're legendary wrestling performers, but respectfully, before my time.
Okay. I've been doing this shit for a total of 5 decades, and I've never heard of Corsica Joe.
I'll tell you what,
Sorry.
Sarah Lee makes some great pound cake. Let me just tell you, she does.
Steamboat's addressing everybody. Damn, Ricky, even today, how great he looks for his age.
Absolutely. I mean, you
Yeah.
can tell he did not have a ton of vices. He took good care of himself, my man.
Yes, he did. Right.
Unfortunately, Corsica Joe passed away. He was 90 years old when he died in 2010. He wrestled as Mephisto #1, Corsica Joe, Francois Maquette, Billy Virag, Mr. M.
Okay.
Started wrestling in 1947, retired in 1973. He became known as Corsica Joe when he started with Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling.
Wow.
He was hailed as being from the French island of Corsica. And a few months later, Nick Goulas and Roy Welch got involved with him. Yeah, so not necessarily. He went in the NWA Hall of Fame in 2008. He was in Georgia Championship Wrestling, NWA Mid America, Southwest Sports, Gulf Coast Championship Wrestling from Florida, and Elite Canadian Championship Wrestling. So there you go. There's what you needed to know about Corsica Joe.
Corsica Joe. Well, it was exciting for a moment, wasn't it? And now this thing is off and stopping. I get it. All right. They need to have their moment. And it's better to do it at the beginning of the show, I guess, instead of the middle of the show.
Well,
but
they're going to get interrupted, you see.
Okay.
You know who it is, too.
We're kicking things off right now. Look at what's happening. What the hell is Jeff Jarrett doing out here? Nobody invited him to this party. He's out here to get this party started, Mike, today.
It's a cool look for Jeff, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So they've just announced they're going to have a gauntlet for the gold to crown a new champion. And he's out here basically saying, hey, that's stupid. Why would there be a battle royal and a gauntlet for the gold? We should have a tournament, not a freaking battle royal.
Okay.
And I know we're getting way inside baseball, but he was criticized at the time as being like, hey, this is your first show and your first segment is being critical of your own creative. This is a crazy time in wrestling. Just to give you some context for what's going on here in this era, Steve Austin has just walked out on the WWE. Bret Hart's just had that bicycle accident where he had a really traumatic brain injury. And TNA starting. And by the way, Jackie Fargo has been in Granddad's cough medicine this day. He's a little tipsy here. He's not even holding the mic near his mouth.
So don't give me that. For all your mouth running on that stage, I'm going to do you an honor tonight, Mr. Jarrett. I'm going to put you on the very first match and let you try to beat all 20 of them people.
He's going to be the first entrant in the gauntlet for the gold. He's forcing him. He's an NWA representative.
If I step in the ring first, that's all right with me, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to proceed to kick 19 other asses, and I'm going to walk out of here the new NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Did you see he almost caused a riot down in Mexico this past weekend?
Jarrett did.
Yeah.
No.
A lot of the, it was Triple Mania. So it's like the Mexican equivalent of WrestleMania. Here comes Ken Shamrock, by the way. Anyway, he flipped off a bunch of fans. I mean, he's always, I don't know if you've seen him in Mexico, but on the way to the ring, he throws tortillas at the audience. And he's just, I know what you people love. Look at this primitive food for primitive people, all that. And, well, apparently he had to have a police escort to leave the building. Like, he started to leave. And the police, through broken English, stopped him and said, go. Go. And he's like, what? So he calls one of the office guys and is like, where's Sottenham? And they're like, he's already in the car. He's waiting for you. And so now he realizes, holy shit, I'm in here by myself. I'm stuck by myself. So the police guy goes and gets more, and they have like 3 police officers on each side, and they like created a wall so they could get Jeff into the car. And as soon as Jeff got in the car, he was like, Sottenham, don't you ever freaking leave me again. Because if you're walking behind Sottenham, they just scatter. You know?
Exactly. Right.
I mean, it's an dude.
I got to reach out to him.
Hey, take a listen to this.
Hey, yo.
Isn't that cool, man? Where you can just pick up a microphone, say 2 words, and people lose their mind.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool right there.
Yeah.
Who shows up to the first pay-per-view with a toothpick behind the ear, one in your mouth, a gold chain, a gold bracelet, a strip club t-shirt for your favorite strip club, and just says, hey, yo, and everybody loses their mind? That's how cool Scott Hall was.
He was the coolest, man.
The definition of cool.
So this TNA was it supposed to be at first tits and ass?
It's called the double entendre, Tony.
Okay.
So yes, we're saying it's TNA, like total nonstop action, but they do have scantily clad girls in cages dancing around.
Yeah. So it's tits and ass. And if you think about it, right now we are 14 minutes and 18 seconds into this thing. So it could be called There's No Action.
That's correct.
Yeah.
We should have started with a wrestling match. But in fairness, they're shooting a lot of stuff that's not exactly in the ring. They may have been still tinkering with the ring here a little bit. Since Cheeks broke it. Now, this is Goldilocks, and she's backstage, and you don't want to miss this.
Want to talk about TNA? I got your total nonstop action right here, baby. With me, the original midget killer puppet, Psycho Dwarf, and he's told me that he's got something that he wants to say.
That's right. Let's start the show off with midgets. Why? Because midgets are the true stars of this country. The day I came out of my mama, I said the day I came out of my mama, the nurses and the doctors just stopped and stared. When I was a little child, weeble wobbling down the street, everybody stopped and stared. And now TNA brings me to Huntsville, Alabama, and they got these 2 midgets up at T.O. in Hollywood. All I want to say is I want to see some midget blood, and I just think I can provide that.
Fargo, who in the hell was he thinking, jackass?
Now here's Girls in Cages. You ready?
Yeah.
I wonder if she worked at Visions. You ever go to Visions when you were in Huntsville?
No.
It was the jam.
Was it?
Yeah.
No longer there?
It's called something else now. It's like Uncle Buck's Booby Bungalow or some bullshit like that. But that is the place where they started a tradition. The Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, they have biscuit and gravy wrestling, and they sell T-shirts for the BWO, the Biscuit World Order. Now, this is the first match in TNA history.
Wow.
It's AJ Styles teaming with Low Key and Jerry Lynn. So this is the first time I have seen Low Key. I'd heard about him and what a phenomenal performance he made in Ring of Honor in February of this year.
Right.
But I had yet to actually get the tape and watch it. So I was really excited to see him. I knew all about Jerry Lynn, of course. I was a big ECW guy, and I know he had a cup of coffee in some other places as well. But AJ Styles is undoubtedly going to become the biggest star of this trio. But take a look at who they're wrestling.
Okay.
This is a TNA classic. The Flying Elvises. That's Estrada, Sonny Siaki, and Jimmy Wang Yang. The Flying Elvises. What was that movie that Nicolas Cage was in, 2,000 Miles to Graceland?
Yes, that was it. Yeah.
So it's clearly inspired by that. And I think we've seen the Young Bucks do this too out in Vegas before.
Okay.
Sonny Siaki was what happened if you ordered The Rock on Wish.
Sonny Siaki worked for WCW at the time.
Yes, right at the end.
Yeah, right.
I have it on good authority that it was you, Sonny Siaki, and Lash LaRue that actually killed WCW. So those
Well,
guys
there you go.
could have saved a lot of money.
At least I've been credited for something. You know what, Conrad? This is a pretty good crowd.
Oh man, it was a fun show. I mean, we had one live show here, and then right after they taped a show, and it aired the following week. But really fun, really cool. And believe it or not only was the first TNA show in Huntsville, Sting's last appearance in TNA, also in Huntsville.
Wow.
Hey, what do you make of WWE doing their best Forbidden Door of sorts, where they're allowing AJ Styles to wrestle for Noah, and you're starting to see some TNA performers appear on NXT and some NXT performers appear on TNA? I mean, a few years ago, that wouldn't have seemed possible, but now it's happening. What do you think of that?
I'm not familiar with what's going on. You're telling me news I haven't heard of. So
I love that about you. You just stay in your lane and handle yours, and everything else is where it is.
Because what they do does not impact me at all. People may say, well, yes, it is, because there's a war going on, and you're competing for numbers. You know what? It ain't what you think. This is not the 90s.
Right.
Here's proof it's not the 90s. They're going on Netflix. They're going on a streaming service. Okay. A streaming service. So, got a dog here. What's she doing?
Uh-oh.
See them fighting? I mean, they're not fighting, they're playing. They'll do this for hours, just hours and hours and hours.
Just play.
Just play. Just wrestle with each other.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know what they're doing. I don't really. You should. If you get tied up into what they're doing, you're focusing on the wrong thing. You need to focus on your shit. At least from my perspective, okay?
No, I get that. Like I've seen, I've heard people say that as a musician, they don't listen to other people's music. And I always thought that was kind of weird.
Right.
But I think the idea is they don't want to accidentally be inspired and or copy and or rip off. But I don't know.
Right. Well, I've said this story many times that Vin Scully, who's my favorite baseball announcer of all time, did an interview that I heard and said that, and I even had just a brief conversation with him years ago when I was covering the Braves, that he does not listen to any other baseball announcer.
That's right.
Right. You know, in the press box, in at Dodger Stadium, at his booth, you could not go in there. You're not allowed to go in there because so many people had gone in there to bother him for his autograph that they just kept people out. I thought that was so interesting. A lot of the members of the media would go bother him for an autograph.
Well,
That's unprecedented. Okay. Hey, Eagles. Hey. Enough with the squeaking. My God.
oh, we weren't here. I wasn't hearing the squeaking on my end.
You weren't okay.
By the way, this show got 61.2% thumbs up, 18.2% thumbs down, and 20.6% thumbs in the middle. And this match we're watching right now was the clear best match of the night. It got 149 votes. The Battle Royal got 17. We're going to see some interesting stuff on this one, too.
I've already seen Low-Key do a tope suicida, and it was pretty spectacular.
Imagine how ahead of the time it felt, for that back then.
Right. Yeah, they're doing some spectacular moves here. And Low-Key is selling his ass off, brother.
Man, I was convinced Low-Key was going to be like one of the biggest and best. They only get 6 minutes and 27 seconds, by the way.
I work at Low-Key at MLW, and
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was the real life Brandon.
Yeah, he was. Of course, once again, every wrestler is good to me and respects me, and I appreciate that. And I really got along with him. He was outspoken. I understood that there were times throughout his career that he got in his own way. I never saw that at all during MLW. But yeah, you would think that a guy that could perform like this, look at that shit that he's doing, that there would be a job for him somewhere in wrestling, but apparently there's not, unless is he still in MLW? Doing his thing there?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like he pops up every now and again. I'm not sure what he does in real life.
He's got a great voice, great deep speaking voice.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is that a put on, or is that 100% of the time?
No, that's 100%. That's how he talks. Yeah. And young AJ Styles.
Mr. Schiavone.
Yeah.
It is an honor to meet you, sir.
Yeah, I thought it was different than that. It was more like a look at that leg.
I can't do his voice, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was guttural though.
Right.
And it's a big voice from respect for a smaller man.
Right.
But I mean, I can't help but think, man, if Low-Key were to come around today,
yeah,
boy, he would have been an even bigger star.
Of course.
At the time, I just think, for better or worse, people were still more focused on size then than they are now.
Right.
Which was always crazy to me, because you go back to like the 70s and certainly the 80s, man, the more entertaining boxing matches were the lighter fighters. I mean, they would just go and go and go.
Of course. Of course.
Certainly, people love to see the knockouts for the heavyweights, but man, those lighter weight boxers were just so much more entertaining to watch.
This is really a kick-ass opening match.
And believe it or not, the Flying Elvises are going to win this match.
Wow. Well, Low-Key kicked AJ Styles inadvertently. And I guess that's going to lead to the finish here.
Here we go.
Wow.
The guy who loses the first match in TNA history, AJ Styles.
AJ Styles.
That's the reason I brought up the little crossover that they're doing these days, is because, I think it would be neat to see AJ Styles in TNA one more time.
Sure.
That'd
I get that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Meltzer really loved this one. He says, we had an Oriental Elvis. I don't think you can say that. And a Puerto Rican Elvis. And an Elvis that went to Vince McMahon's college. Started off fast with Low-Key hitting a tope and Lynn with a plancha. Yang was doing the Shining Wizard all over the place. Great athletic style action match, and the crowd loved it. Low-Key hit brutal kicks. Yang did a great leg lariat on Styles. Everyone hit their big moves at the end before Yang pinned Styles with the Yang time. This match could not have been better. 3 3/4 stars.
Mm.
And I don't know why that makes me laugh, but he goes, man, this match couldn't have been better. 70%. It just tickles me. Speaking of tickling me, now we've got Teo. Teo is about to wrestle Hollywood, and he's going to win with a swanton in 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Meltzer would say Hollywood was an quote unquote enhancement midget. That was a bad idea. These guys have got to go 1 star. I can appreciate that they're trying something new and something different. I know this isn't exactly new. It is kind of old school, but you can just tell the way they're dressed and the attitudes. Like, this is Vince Russo inspired.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in the era of, and I get it. Like, if you're really targeting guys in their early 20s and 30s and things like that, then girls in cages and high flying action and little people, I get it.
Something for everybody, right? Like he always said.
Yes.
I it's a hell of a nut buster right there. I have a question. I was just thinking about this. Maybe it's okay. In this day and age, who determines what is politically correct and what is not? In other words,
Twitter.
They do. They determine everything.
Yeah. The Twitter mob collectively decides.
And everybody goes along with it.
Well, not everybody. And those who don't get canceled.
That's what I'm saying. Then they have to go along with it.
Or get canceled.
Okay. In other words, so companies, people who give you paychecks, listen to Twitter. That's how much impact they have.
Yes. That's Scott Armstrong in the ring right there.
Yeah.
Is our referee.
Dave Meltzer used the word Oriental in his write-up of that.
22 years ago, yes.
Right.
And he used the M word here for little people.
Yeah, the M word midget, which is what they used going into this.
Well, and as you recall in wrestling, that was just a big part. Like, I can't see how many wrestling posters I've seen that would list, 4 or 5 matches, and then at the bottom it would say plus midgets and girls.
Right. Okay. So I was just trying to figure out what is so offensive about the word Oriental compared to Asian.
I think it's okay if you're describing a rug.
A rug, right? Oriental rug, right? I get that, right?
But I'll be honest, like, for older people, I don't think they know the difference.
Right. I just wondered who's the one that picked that out and who's the one that first established you can't say that. Was it actually
some sort of coalition or something? Yeah. I mean, listen, I think we're all learning and trying to get better. And if
I think we are too. And I know there are some words and some terms that are offensive, but I'm trying to wrap my head around what is offensive about Oriental compared to Asian. And I get it. I don't use the word Oriental except when we're discussing it. Why is it not bad? I call the people Asians. I don't use the word Oriental. So I just wondered who first came up with that. It's just interesting.
Yeah. I mean, to be clear, we're both saying, hey, we're ignorant to this.
Right. So, and I get it. I conform, brother. I do.
Oh, no, yeah. Why not? Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's like, hey, if there's a word I use that hurts somebody's feelings, I can use another word.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't give a shit. Like, now, I mean, I think it's all based in the intent, right? Like, are we intentionally trying to be assholes? Of
course.
If the answer is no, then we're being genuinely ignorant and we're trying to learn. And I think that's fine. I mean, I think we're all getting better. And speaking of fine,
woo,
those girls are 22 years older now. So what do you think they are? 50? 52?
Every bit. Ed Ferrara has no hair at all right now, by the way.
Really? He's shaving it off. He's going stone cold.
Do you remember? You were there. Do you remember the JR?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was backstage.
Yes.
As bald as a tater, man. And I didn't even recognize him at first.
As bald as a tater.
Ed was a talented kid, man. Talented guy.
A lot of wrestling fans never forgave him for the JR parodies.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
So here we go. We got the ladies coming out now. Meltzer would say, it's really bad when I, who spend all day watching bad wrestling videos, couldn't pick out half of them on a police lineup. Some uncharismatic women out there. Anyway, from what I could gather, because their names were said so fast, there were no graphics and the cameras were on the wrong women as the announcers were talking. I noticed a Joni, Francine, Alexis Lurie, Taylor Vaughn. So that was Barbara Bush right there in wrestling, WWE. Aaron. She goes on and on. There's the former Daphne right there.
Oh, man. Give me a time code.
I am 31, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37.
Got it.
So the lady, bam, that is a very young Mickie James.
Wow. How about Mickie James?
Yeah, this is kind of a mess. We got a lot of ladies here. Francine's going to cut a promo, and then we're going to see something that I'm pretty excited for you to see. But as we're seeing these ladies come down, I can't help but, hey, by the way, that's Elektra from ECW. Did you know she was in the Sopranos?
No, I did not.
She was.
What type? Where did she? What?
She pulled them things out at the bottom bang.
Okay.
And a t-shirt. Oh, there's Barbara Bush right there.
Wow.
Bob Holly was friendly with her.
She's quite stunning there.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to announce that Tony has officially declared himself ready for Smooth Sack Summer. It's officially upon us. And when you're playing in the summer sun, make sure you're groomed from pubes to bum. Thanks to our friends at Manscaped. Make this season your smoothest yet. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the ultimate bundle to keep your boys downstairs cool while looking hot. The 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Get 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use our code WHW. Summertime and the trimming is easy. The Manscaped Performance Package 5.0 Ultra has everything you need to prepare that summer bod. Every man knows how scary it is when you get for a close shave below the belt. And that's why I trust Manscaped with all my sensitive areas. Now, inside the package, you'll find the star of the show, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. This 5th generation trimmer features 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads. A standard one to take a little off the top. Maybe you like a little bit of bush. That's what Tony likes. Or maybe you like a foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. I'm trying to talk him into it this summer. It's even got dual LED spotlights to provide contrast on multiple skin tones. 3 length setting combs. Yeah, length setting combs. How close do you want that hair, Daddy? And did I mention it's waterproof too? You can shave your dick hair in the beach. You can shave your cock and balls in the lake, or better yet, shave your butthole in the shower. This razor will devour even the strongest pubes. Now that you've got the perfect haircut, the liquid formulations from Manscaped can keep that freshness rocking. How about the Crop Soother? It's an aftershave lotion. What about the Crop Preserver? It's anti-chafing ball deodorant. Once they touch your sack, you'll never go back. And it's a real game changer. Back before Tony Schiavone was working at AEW, he was known as Stinky Nut Schiavone. That's what everybody was saying around Marietta. But once he got that sweet, sweet Tony Khan money, he hooked up this package from Manscaped, and man, he's never looked back. No more Stinky Nut Schiavone. They're going to throw in 2 free gifts in this Performance Package 5.0. You'll get the Manscaped boxers and the Shed travel bag. Maybe you're looking for more wet products. Well, Manscaped's got a buff bundle that'll keep this summer heat a breeze. The bundle includes the silicone scrubber and the body wash. So ditch your nasty ass loofah and grab the taste of freshness. And why not get 20% off plus free shipping with the code WHW at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code WHW at manscaped.com. It's Smooth Sack Summer, boys. Get on board or get left behind. You think Francine prefers a smooth sack?
Yeah, I would think so.
Well, I hope she knows about Manscaped and our promo code WHW because she's got a cool husband and maybe he'll be even cooler this summer.
All right. Who's her husband? Is he in the business?
No, he's not. He's a civilian, but a super nice guy.
Civilian. He's a civilian. So they had the women go out and had Francine and this other girl,
Electra,
Electra, just roll around
can't
on the
fight.
ring.
ECW style.
Yep.
Now we see more girls in cages, but don't worry. The Johnsons are coming. But first, here's Mortimer Plumtree.
Plumtree. Story of a life filled with torment. Torment leading to pain. Pain leading to will. Will leading to power. Power allowing me to bring my tag team, who, in our formative years, were my tormentors, now my servants. They do what I tell them to do when I tell them to do it. They wear what I tell them to, without questioning, for they know that they owe me their freedom, their livelihoods, their very lives. They don't speak unless I allow them to. They listen only to me, and now I call upon them to once and for all make their presence known in this arena. Rewriting the history books of this sport, I give to you my tag team, the Johnsons.
So here come the Johnsons. It's Mike and Todd Shane.
All right.
And they're going to be dressed up like big stiff penises, according to Dave Meltzer.
And who was this guy with the cricket bat?
That was Mortimer Plumtree.
Okay.
He was from Steel Domain Wrestling. He was supposedly a Harvard grad. And I think he was, I thought he did a great job as this character in that promo. I know it's campy and it's over the top, but clearly that's what they're looking for.
Right.
And I think, you know, if this is what you asked for, boy, he nailed it.
He delivered. You are right.
And I know some people are going to say, oh, but it was stupid. Well, I'm not saying that was his idea. But if this is the creative he was handed, well, he did that shit.
Yeah, of course he did. Absolutely. With the cricket bat and the glasses, he tried to be some sort of rich man's Jim Cornette, right?
Yeah, he's trying to do a 2002 Jim Cornette.
Right.
But if that's what you were going for, hey, fucking
go for it. Go for it. Yeah.
Now he's going to be taking on Psychosis and James Storm. And I think they announced them at a combined weight of 512 pounds. Listen to this.
City, Mexico, Psychosis and Cowboy James Storm. Well, Psychosis, very familiar as one of the cruiserweight stars.
I guess I missed it. But watch what James Storm's going to do here.
Okay.
This is really his first time on a national platform like this. He was a Middle Tennessee independent wrestler who had having some really good matches with Chris Harris. And they're eventually going to put them together and make them a tag team. But they really impressed Jeff when they were scouting folks in the Nashville area. But I love what he does in the corner here. I think it's here. Take a listen.
So he goes around town wearing a duster and no pants on, is what you're saying. I'm not saying that in the least. Okay, he's got a gun. Whoa. Hey, Ed, you got a man. You and I saw him in one of the matches we ever saw a few weeks ago.
I think that's cool. Not enough guns in wrestling. I mean, I know that, I know that, you know, you shouldn't do that and with kids and blah, blah, blah. But when I saw it, I was like, man, yeah, why don't more people do that? That was cool.
Yeah. He doesn't look anything like the James Storm that I saw in MLW.
No.
Wow. His looks have changed. Wow.
20 years later, he grew up. He's no longer a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And these days, he's doing a lot of acting, and he's a real estate agent. Heck of a nice guy. His wife's a super successful real estate agent, too. I'm glad to see that he's found success outside of wrestling.
Yep.
But wrestling isn't a have to, it's a want to.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to, he gets to. I think that's
right.
Cool.
I think that's great, too.
Crowbar is another guy I think about like that. Like,
right.
And he had fun in wrestling, but he had an incredible backup plan, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And now he gets to do both. I really dig that.
Ian Riccaboni's another one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Ian's got a lot going on in his life.
I don't know how he does it all.
Me neither. He's just an intelligent, super kid. Who are the Johnsons here? Who are they in real life? Did you?
The Shanes, Mike and Todd Shane.
Okay. Them big boys dressed up. dressed up like penises. Yeah.
The referee's at Johnson too.
Yeah, it's slick, right?
That's right. Mark Johnson, slick.
Uh-huh. And he's done all the matches so far.
Next up, we're going to see the Dups.
Dups?
Yep.
Okay. Who do we have here?
That's a lady.
I know.
Seen her in the past in WCW. I believe she was with the Maestro. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We've seen her in WCW and WWF.
And what is she doing out here? What does she have to do with Plumtree, the Johnsons?
I have no idea.
Storm, she's standing there with her hands on hips, just taking it all in, observing the scene.
I'm just begging for the cameraman to go a little lower on her.
I'll tell you what, thank you.
God. Oh my God.
Yikes.
Okay.
All right. Think we can edit that out, or do you think? Okay.
Symphony was the valet. Alicia Webb is her other name that we've seen her as, and she was in WWE as Ryan Shamrock. But when she was with the Maestro, she was Symphony. But Alicia Webb is 45 years old now.
I don't remember her at all. I remember the Maestro, but I don't remember her. Isn't that weird? Hell, I don't remember where we were last Wednesday, so
no surprise.
No surprise.
I mean, really, I think some people forget this, but I mean, you're making 2 towns a week.
Right.
So when you do that, and not counting the pay-per-view, so there's at least 12 of those. Mm-hmm. So you're in 120 towns a year. So when you're doing that, it's going to run together.
Yeah, of course it runs together. I have to stop and think and where we were last time. I know on Wednesdays we do a Dynamite, and on Saturdays we do a Collision. And we tape a Rampage, but as far as where we were, I'm not sure. I can reference it really fast on my phone.
Right.
Yeah, but everybody, you're going to get there. You're going to get there. You're going to be older. You're going to be older. We were watching some family home movies very briefly this weekend at Laurie's house. Laurie and I were.
Really?
Yeah, we were watching the first Disney trip for the Schiavone family from 1991.
Wow.
Wow, was it something else? It was something else. Young Lois, young Tony, all the kids just very, very young. Matt was the oldest, and Matt would have been, I guess he would have been 8 or 9. He was the oldest. So that's how many kids we were running around Disney with, those small ones like that. Did your parents ever take you to Disney?
We did. We went in 1995.
Yeah.
I was in 8th grade, so I was kind of too old for that, but my sister had a blast.
Yeah. Well, I always had a blast, and it's something that's been handed down to all of my kids. Chris takes his family to Disney all the time. And I'm glad we established that. Now you're gonna get they're gonna have their hands in your pockets. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be spendy for sure.
Gonna be very spendy. But it's, if you can tolerate it, and I always was able to tolerate it, you can have a blast.
Man, they're working hard here, and the Johnsons get the win. So in our first match, AJ Styles lost. In our third match, James Storm lost. I mean, 2 of the biggest TNA icons,
right,
catching L's here. Next up, you're going to meet the Dups.
DUPS?
DUPPS.
Okay.
You got bowed up. You got stand up. You got fluffed up. Oh, look at Mark Johnson pulling out the old rubber band with the cash.
He just all pay off. How about those Observer Live? You notice that sign?
I did. All right, here we go. The Dups.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Love.
Pass on that. I actually got. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna go tape something right now. So.
You want me to real quick? You're going that way. You want me?
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's Trevor Murdoch, by the way.
Oh, hi. Which one is she?
Well, she's Bo's girlfriend, and I told you she's my girlfriend, and
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, hey, guys.
Oh,
I'm sorry. No, there's no beer drinking here in the locker room. I need you to put those things down. We don't want any intoxicated wrestlers out in our ring, so just put those things down right now. Thank you.
okay.
Geez, there are sure some wussies here in the NWA.
Hey, Bo, whoever heard of getting drunk on beer?
Yeah, it's really nice meeting you.
Where you going?
All of
Where
you,
you-
really. I'm gonna go do something over here.
So yeah,
Good God.
the Dups, and that was Trevor Murdoch that you saw there. His
Wow.
first time on national television. I guess it's not national television, but national pay-per-view. You know, we're only a few weeks away from them having a little person, or as Dusty Rhodes would call it, a midget, a beaten off in the trash can.
Yeah, we've seen that on this show.
Well, this was oh look, here's more non-wrestling.
Sterling
Herb
Marlin.
Sadler and Sterling Marlin are coming out. And Meltzer would say, they got big pops. Yes, bigger than any of the wrestlers on the show.
Mm-hmm. Well, NASCAR in the South at one time was a big deal.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, it probably still is on a smaller level. But it ain't
I mean, it blew up in popularity, but it does feel like it's fallen a little bit. Why do you think that is?
Well, I know exactly why that is. I've read articles about it. I've read a lady before he died interviewed Dale Earnhardt about it. And it's because NASCAR decided to go global or to go national. And they basically
the South.
yeah, said fuck the South. And the
Like
people in the South said,
when you personally made the decision for Starrcade to leave Greensboro.
Arcade to leave Greensboro.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I was
Right.
told that was your call.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll take the blame for that. But that's yeah, exactly. They and now some tracks have cut down their grandstands as far as they don't have the numbers of capacity they used to have because they don't fill them up anymore. It's their own fault. I mean, if you want to run Las Vegas, you want to run Chicago, you know. And I get why they do it. They wanted to expand their footprint. They wanted to, quote unquote, get more money to be a national company, so to speak. But yeah, that's the reason.
Here's a very young Ron Killings. And I was convinced, as was my uncle when we left, he was going to be their biggest star. At the time, he's going by the name K Crush.
Oh, okay.
And he's basically saying that NASCAR drivers are not real professional athletes. Where do you land on that? Are NASCAR drivers athletes?
I think so. I think you got to be in shape to be able to drive a car around in a circle.
Would you consider bowlers athletes?
Wow. I don't know. I think you have to be in shape. What's your definition of an athlete?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out from you. Like,
Yeah.
if you got to be an athlete to drive a car,
Yeah.
to be an athlete to roll the bowling ball.
Okay. It depends on what your definition of an athlete is.
Well, I'm asking you personally.
First of all, I can tell you that both these drivers were making more money than the guy
The
holding the
entire
microphone.
building, everyone's combined.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hermie Sadler's a real life best friend of Jeff Jarrett to this day.
Really?
Yeah, not too long ago, he and Cody Angle had a no holds barred grudge match in Jeff Jarrett's backyard on the lake there. I'm happy to report that Cody came out on top and won the Intercontinental Championship.
Wow.
Won it fair and square. I don't know if you saw, but just yesterday, Cody reeled in a 5-pound catfish.
Really?
Yep. It's pretty impressive. I was proud for him.
What a family.
So Brian Christopher doing a run in here to take care of business with K Crush.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go backstage here and we're going to see Jackie Fargo and Jeff Jarrett getting into it. And Meltzer would say, Fargo may have blown his line, but he's still the greatest. I like when it's obvious that, Dave's fandom bleeds through because he's just a big wrestling fan like all of us.
Yeah, I know. Did Dave ever say on a public forum who his favorite wrestler of all time is? Or he's been known to say, I'm not, forget that. I'm not going to.
The Toyota lady over in Japan.
The Toyota lady over in Japan?
Yeah, like Manami Toyota, I think is her name.
Okay. That's his favorite wrestler?
Yeah, all time.
Really?
53 years old.
Yep.
That'll do it. She was in All Japan from 87 to 02.
Was she a jumping bomb angel or whatever they were?
No.
What were those girls called?
Yeah, you had it.
Yeah.
It was a fun name, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
The Jumping Bomb Angels were I'm gonna butcher these names, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Norio Tatino.
Yeah.
And Itsuki Yamazaki.
Yeah.
I apologize. Y'all, I'm from Alabama. You gotta forgive me. Doing my best.
Somebody's always going to shit on you on oh, look at this.
Let's listen.
Look at
Who did this to you? I want you to remember, Fargo, your next TWA champion. You're damn right I could.
All right, so at this point, they would show, and I don't know if they're going to actually air it here, but they showed a Toby Keith music video.
Oh.
Yeah. And now it's a big time match here. We got the Dups taking on Christian York and Joey Matthews.
All right. We're getting a lot of guys doing the same thing. Does that make sense to you?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Coming out, screaming to the crowd, mugging to the crowd. I don't know.
Yeah. I think everybody had like their idea of what a wrestler was supposed to be.
Uh-huh.
You got to remember, this is a new company. So it's not like, and this is their first show. So there's probably not a lot of production. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, we don't know what we got until we got to start doing stuff before we can make it better.
Right. Yeah, I get that.
It's so crazy to see a very young Trevor Murdoch here. I mean, who would have thought he's going to go on to become NWA champion and go to WWE? And Bo Dup's going to eat his boogers after the match. So I know you're excited about that.
Yeah, he's eating his boogers and picking his ass right now.
As he should.
And who's the girl?
I have no idea. I think that's Fluff.
Fluff, yeah, it is Fluff, but I didn't know if she went on to do anything in wrestling or not.
Well, let's take a look at that.
Okay, well,
just fluffed up. See what she did.
Uh-huh. Let's check on Fluffed Up, see what she did.
What's wrong with us? No, I have no idea what Fluffed Up's up to. If you know what Fluffed Up's up to,
yeah,
let us know. We'd love to know about Fluffed Up.
Yeah,
I know what happened to Bowed Up and Jacked Up and Pucked Up and Stand Up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know shit about Fluffed Up. So we hope that Fluffed Up's doing well.
Yeah,
I know that they became the first champions of the Dup Cup, and I hate that they lost it to the hardcore midget Teo.
You just never know what's going to entertain people. But I can tell you right now that not many people are buying into this one. Can you notice that at ringside here?
Yeah. I don't know why that tickled me, but you never know what's going to entertain people, but it's not this.
That's it.
You're exactly right, by the way.
Yeah.
Meltzer gave it a dud rating.
Mm-hmm.
All that we got left here is the 20-man gauntlet match and then a very quick world title match. So,
wow,
still coming here.
So we got about, I don't know, 40 some minutes, 50 some minutes of stuff for 2 matches.
Yeah, well, that gauntlet match, it's like a Royal Rumble style. So it's not like they're all in there. So that stretches it out a little bit.
It's kind of like what we're doing now with our casino gauntlet match.
That's exactly right. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, we should mention you guys have a big pay-per-view coming up. Man, it's right around the corner. Forbidden Door is going to be here before you know it. Tickets are on sale now. Go check that out at AEWTIX.com. We've said it a million times, but it bears repeating. AEW always delivers on pay-per-view. I'm sure this will be no exception. We got Swerve Strickland taking on Will Ospreay for the World Championship. We got Takeshita taking on Mark Briscoe and Jack Perry and Dante Martin, and still 2 participants to be determined for the now vacant AEW TNT Championship. We got Mercedes Moné going for a winner-takes-all match with the New Japan Strong Women's Champion. We've got Timeless Tony Storm taking on Mina Shirakawa. Pardon me if I didn't say that right. Zack Sabre Jr. taking on Orange Cassidy. John Moxley taking on Naito. And Jeff Cobb is going to be in action for the New Japan World Television Championship. We don't know who his opponent is yet, but if you haven't seen much Jeff Cobb, you're in for a treat. He is a fantastic performer, as is Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, a very classical, technical wrestler taking on Orange Cassidy. That should be fun. And I know that I shouldn't like it. I can't help but like it. That ladder match, man. I know they become stunt shows and they're dangerous and you're just happy no one gets hurt. I mean, really, the best ladder match is the one where nobody gets hurt. So I'm hoping that's what happens, that we don't have any crazy injuries. But man, what a spectacle they are.
Yeah, and again, they're very exciting, but I'm like you, man. I just don't want anyone to get hurt.
Yes, please don't get hurt.
And
Chris York and Joey Matthews, by the way, were, I thought, going to be big stars.
Really?
In professional wrestling. I just thought, man, for sure these guys are gonna be a hit. Now we know that they've had some success. I mean, they were both in ECW, and of course, Joey Mercury went on to have a great run in WWE as an M&M. But oh, there you go. Eat some boogers, my man. Eat some boogers. Celebrate. You won. There you go. Attaboy. Nom nom nom. Do you think I mean, if they both share that girlfriend and fluffed up, do you think they ever thought about using a Blue Chew way back when?
I don't know, but they do now. You know why? Someone was talking to me about Blue Chew the other day.
They're showing the Toby Keith video. I can't believe
they are
that here. Wow. Anyway, what were you saying?
Somebody's talking to me about Blue Chew the other day.
If you could Bluetooth Blue Chew, that'd be impressive.
What?
I just turned it on and boom. Can you imagine if your erection was phone operated as an app? Let me get my gimmick going. Hang on just a second.
Okay. Your package, they open the package and have this little device you stick down the head of your penis. Oh, it's going to hurt, but you can't wait. I mean, it's going to make it 10 sizes too bigger.
Yeah. If you can Bluetooth your wiener and then just, well, let me put it in my hot spot.
Anyway, someone said something about Blue Chew to me the other day. And I said, yeah. Do you know how Blue Chew became famous? Because of what happened when?
That's right. What happened when Tony got his ding dong real hard? I mean,
exactly. They've been with us forever, right?
Day one. And I'll never forget when you took one live on the air and stood up and showed everybody your pants tent, your Larry David pants tent.
Don't remember that one, but of course.
Oh, it's in the archives. Just check it out, WHWMonday.com. See Tony's ding dong get real, real hard.
Yeah.
Today's episode and Tony's wiener brought to you by Blue Chew, sponsored by Blue Chew. Matter of fact, Tony's even thinking about getting a Blue Chew tattoo on his wiener meat. Remember the days when you were always ready to go? Back when you didn't need to get fluffed up? Well, now you can increase your performance and get bowed up. And you're going to be jacked up because you got that extra confidence in bed. Listen up, BlueChew.com. Now, use this to put on a 5-star match. Don't actually just start beating off in a trash can like they did here in TNA. Nice. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers you the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. And the process is simple. You'll sign up at bluechew.com. You'll consult with one of their licensed medical providers. And once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And here's the best part. It's all done online. So no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversation, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA, prepared and shipped directly to your door, all in a discreet package. But there won't be anything discreet about your package. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. So discover your options at bluechew.com. Let's chew it and do it. And here's a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code WHW at checkout. Just pay the $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com. The promo code is WHW, and you'll receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring today's podcast.
We always thank Blue Chew for sponsoring a podcast. We're always coming to you from the Blue Chew studios, wherever you pop it in.
Yeah, pop it in.
Pop it in, baby.
Toby Keith no longer with us. He's doing a little concert for Huntsville here, and he's going to get interrupted by that damn dirty ass Jeff Jarrett. Of course, the brass here at TNA, which is actually Jeff Jarrett, has made him the number one entrant. He's going to have to go through 19 other men in order to win. So to get some extra added heat, why not come out and interrupt Toby Keith's hit single about America putting a boot in your ass and all that business?
Mm-hmm.
And I do remember it getting a good reaction from the crowd.
Were you shocked that Toby Keith passed away? I wasn't following his career. I didn't know he was sick. But that kind of blew me away. Just because it's not like he had been around, forever, right?
Cancer, man, it sucks.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet Keith Evans?
Keith Evans?
From Fight. He was like Mike Weber's right-hand man for 8 years.
No.
He just passed away this past weekend.
Really?
Unexpectedly. He was a big...
I may have met him at a Starcast.
Starcast, yeah.
Yeah.
Based out of Vegas, just a heck of a nice guy. I really thought a lot of him, and Mike Weber told me Monday morning, and I just couldn't believe it.
Weber's mom or dad just recently passed too. I saw that.
His mom passed after a long battle, and he actually just had pretty big time surgery himself, and he was pretty nervous about it, but he's on the mend and out of the hospital and doing good now.
Yeah.
And we know that JR is on the mend, and
right.
He's in Oklahoma right now and got a great support system there, and looking forward to college football season kicking off and getting going. I like when he's in Oklahoma. He's got all the family there. He's got all the friends there. He knows everybody. I mean, I know he's had a fun time down at the beach, but nothing like being home, man.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. Isn't it funny that not funny, but just so the different lives for you, home is Alabama. That's where you grew up.
That's right.
For JR, home is Oklahoma. That's where he's from.
Yeah.
For me, home is Georgia, but I'm not from Georgia.
Yeah.
I've lived most of my life in this house.
How many years in that house?
33.
Wow.
So this is home to me.
And
this is where I raised my kids.
You're 78, right?
No, I'll be 79 in July.
My bad.
You mistake me for Jeff Jarrett.
How does he look? I mean, he looks better now than he did even then.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Karen's helping him out somewhere.
He's got to be geared out of his mind.
Yeah. I have told you that she is one of my favorite people.
She just love her room every time she comes in.
I just love Karen Jarrett.
Always got her hair and makeup on point and a smile that you can see from outer space.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Is this Buff Bagwell?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
He's here to get a payday from the Jarretts, and he appears for exactly 1 minute and 2 seconds. Isn't that great when you think about it? Like, I don't know what he got paid that day. None of my business. Don't care. Right. But his work consisted of 1 minute and 2 seconds.
Not bad.
It's amazing.
Not bad work if you can get it, as they say.
Now, I know the reality is, because I know that sounds fun, But it's not like he showed up 5 minutes before and went out and did 1 minute. He's been there since 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So
exactly.
he was there 9 hours, but he only had to do 1 minute and 2 seconds worth of shit.
Right.
And I think that's probably, one of the frustrating things. Yeah, he's done. The things about wrestling that suck, from what I hear from the people who are in the business, are the travel, number one. But then it feels like it's just a long day. It's a lot of hurry up and wait.
Oh my God.
You got to get here at 1 and we're not going to do shit for 9 hours. And then you get to do your 3 minutes and then you're done.
I found out when I was doing Ready to Rumble, that's the way it is in Hollywood.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So look who's coming next. You ready for this? Lash LaRue.
Oh, God.
Adfreeshows.com. Meltzer would say, got out of shape and hasn't been since WWF dumped him. He looks like $1 million now. If you take a look at Lash LaRue, he's in much better shape now than he was even then, just like Jeff Jarrett.
Wow. Really? I guess I saw him. I guess I saw him at the last
Chicago last year.
Right. Chicago last. Yeah, he's become one of the Conrad disciples.
Well, I don't know about that.
I do.
He's a great guy, and he's from Gadsden, where Cassio's from.
Right.
So I got to be careful before I let him shit in my house, because I've seen what Cassio can do to some sewer lines.
Yeah, man. How's Cassio doing other than his obvious tons of shit that flies out of his ass?
Couldn't tell you.
Really?
Hope he's well.
Oh, okay.
No, we're not cross. I'm just saying I moved a county over, so I don't see.
The way you snapped it off there sounds like you cross.
Oh, not at all. No, he's my best bud. I'm just saying, we went from right when I knew I was like, oh, I can't stall this anymore. I really got to move now. I mean, I drug this move out as long as I could. Here comes Norman Smiley. We hung out like almost every day for a couple of months.
Uh-huh.
And now it's like, I see him once every other week type shit.
Okay.
So it's just not the same. That's all.
I got it.
I think he's going to a bunch of concerts. I know he's doing a shit ton of comedy. He's got a podcast that he's doing on location that's really focused on comedy and music in the middle of nowhere, Bluntsville, Alabama. And it's called X5 Podcast. So go out of your way to check him out there.
Okay.
Shout out to those guys, David Lynham and Charlie Reese. They're good dudes. My uncle, by the way, he freaking loved Norman Smiley, and it was all about this, the big wiggle.
The big wiggle.
I mean, I cannot tell you how much my uncle loved it.
Wow. And he never really got to do it at that time because he got the old back mule kick.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett, he didn't want us to be happy.
No, son of a bitch.
Hey, did you see that picture I posted on Twitter of Bob Caudle?
I did not. My Twitter got hacked. You know that.
You still hadn't fixed that?
No, we fixed it.
Okay. I mean, I was the one who gave you the heads up.
Yeah.
That you got hizzled. I just sent you the link through our little video process that we're using here. Normally we use StreamYard so you guys can join us live, but when they put Silva in traction in the hospital, he's in a full body cast now. I knew that wasn't going to be possible. So
I had to
take old school and do Zoom. That is not Brian Cage.
That's not.
That's Apollo from Puerto Rico.
Okay, God, it looked like Cage in the face when he first came running down.
Hey, take a look at that link I just sent you of Bob Caudle, though. Our old pal David Chappell and Dick Bourne from MidAtlanticGateway.com, one of our favorite websites. And if you love the old school JCP stuff, we highly recommend MidAtlanticGateway.com. They went to visit Bob Caudle and presented him with a tribute belt that was certainly inspired by Reggie Park's classic United States Championship. And it's got the old school Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling logo plate on the left and the Jim Crockett Promotions logo plate on the right. And it's got two microphones on either side where the Eagles were. And instead of saying United States Champion, it says Bob Caudle, the voice of Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. Such a cool photo, such a thoughtful gift. I just love that those guys over at MidAtlanticGateway.com celebrated Bob Caudle, and I knew you'd want to see that.
Yeah, that's tremendous. I'm so honored to be put into a Hall of Fame, but Bob Caudle needs to be in the Hall of Fame for crying out loud.
He's in every Hall of Fame.
He is?
What Hall of Fame is Bob Caudle not in?
Is he in the WWE Hall of Fame?
He's got to be.
No, he's not.
He's got to be.
I know he's got to be, but he's not.
How do you know? You don't even pay attention.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I don't.
Oh my God, dude. You know, this just made my day. I just looked at Bob Caudle on Wikipedia.
Uh-huh.
And they've got, for his broadcasting career, a handful of annotations here. NWA Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, NWA reunion shows. And the last entry is Ric Flair's last match.
Wow.
A 2022 show ran by a revived JCP that featured what was billed as Flair's last match ever. Caudle opened the pay-per-view portion of the show and ended the show with his catchphrase, "So long for now," both pre-recorded. Dude, the idea that it's a footnote in his career, man, that fucking makes my day.
Isn't that great?
That's so awesome. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah. Tremendous.
That belt was so cool. I just can't put it over enough. I just think the world of Dick Bourne. I've only met David a few times, Mr. Chappell, and he seems like a really great guy. And I know he's good friends with Dick Bourne, but I know the love that Dick Bourne has for Bob Caudle, and I know that you and JR share that same love for Bob.
Yeah. I know. I wish I'm going to regret, if he passes away before me, I'm going to regret not spending more time with him.
Then go see him.
I need to spend the day with him.
Y'all run shows there all the time.
We do not run shows in Raleigh all the time.
All the time. You ran 2 last week. You don't remember.
Yeah, you're right. I don't remember.
JR said this about Bob Caudle on our podcast, Grilling JR once. I love him. I never worked with a better human being. He had product knowledge. He still had his instincts. He had that voice that people in a lot of regions still identified with. It was just wonderful. I think about him all the time.
Yeah. JR nailed it, man. Bob could not be a nicer human being.
That's Slash right there. I think we knew him as one half of PG-13.
Wow. Looks changed, haven't they? From PG-13, or did they? And there's our buddy James
Vandenberg.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's Wolfie D.
Wolfie D.
Yeah. That's what he was called in PG-13, but here he's Slash. We had him at Ric Flair's last match too.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff Jarrett was there too. I don't know if you remember that.
Who was?
Jeff Jarrett. He was at Ric Flair's last match.
Yeah. I remember his name.
He starts riots everywhere he goes, beating up elderly in parking lots.
Yeah, aren't you just really, really happy that Jeff Jarrett became a part of all this?
I'm so happy. By the way, that is not Scott Steiner.
Ah, it looked like before he took the shades off for a minute, didn't it?
I think that's Del Rios.
Del Rios?
Yeah. His real name is Harry Del Rios. And I think he was wrestling. The reason that S is on his back, it's not for Superman or Steiner, because that's certainly what he's going for. But he would wrestle on indies as Spellbinder.
Okay.
You're going to love who's coming next.
Okay.
Prince Justice. He's described as being an aggressive big guy, looked like Rhino, but 7 inches taller and not nearly as good. But Prince Justice, let's see what you think when you see Prince Justice.
Okay.
Got 5 guys in the ring right now. We got Del Rios, and we got Jeff Jarrett. We got Slash, we got K-Crush, and Apollo.
This buildup is exciting to the next guy coming. I'm excited about it. I'm genuinely excited to see the next person coming down the aisleway. I'm pumped.
Hey,
So the winner of this match is going to win the NWA title?
No.
Okay.
The last 2 men who are in there are going to wrestle for the NWA world title.
Okay.
And we are 8 seconds away from the national debut on pay-per-view of Prince Justice.
Everybody is standing at the Von Braun Center, Probst Arena, as it's known now.
Do you recognize him?
Kinda. Got a quick shot of him.
Let's see if it clicks.
No, it doesn't click. I'm sorry. Who is it?
That's Abyss.
It's Abyss?
That's Abyss without a mask.
I would have never guessed.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
It's so cool to look back at this first TNA show, knowing what we know now about TNA,
Right.
Abyss and James Storm and AJ Styles, and they were all here on the first one.
Isn't that something?
Dutch Mantel was a big advocate for Prince Justice, as I understand. He'd been down in Puerto Rico, and he was high on him and pushed him to Jeff Jarrett. They threw him on the card, and you're going to recognize who's coming out next.
Oh,
guess who it is?
No, but I love this build-up. I love this build-up.
If he was here, he might say, "Hey, yo, let me speak on this."
Okay. I know who that is.
Hulk Hogan, right?
No, it's Carlos.
Is that what you called him?
Uh-huh. There's some people, I call some people by their real name, and I call some people by their working name.
Is there a rhyme or reason for how you decide what's what or who's who?
No.
It's just the way it works out.
Just the way it works out.
Well, here he comes. It's a big pop.
Former WCW US champ, WCW TV champ when he defeated Chris Jericho.
We talked about how cool Scott Hall was. Conan was and is the same cool.
You're damn right he was. I was thinking the same thing. Just looking good here, too. Pull your pants up, Carlos. Good God.
What's the look he was going for, you know?
Yeah, I know.
But it's got to be hard to work in jeans, much less when they're like sagging and you got like
the
big crotch hang.
Yeah, belt around your ass. I mean, you got to really, so those pants don't really just fall down to your knees. You got to really cinch up that belt.
Did you ever bust a sag? Was that your thing? Are you in the sagging?
Bust a sag?
Yeah, he's sagging right there.
Okay. And no, I've never busted a sag.
Why don't you do that on TV this week? Bust a sag.
Bust a sag?
Yeah.
I think, okay. Prince Nana is the
What
one
about
that
Prince
busts a
Nana?
sag.
Oh, does
He's
Prince Nana bust sags?
Wow, his pants. I keep telling him, pull your pants up, dude. Dude.
You know, my dad used to be a prison guard.
Really?
And he said in prison, busting a sag was something else.
Oh, your dad probably being a prison guard, but no, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was an indicator of
okay, that's good enough.
Your circumstances.
Okay.
Behind bars.
Yeah, I got it.
Here comes Bruce. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go.
Essential stud muffin in his own mind.
I chase anything in a skirt and I get right up in that dress. I'm going to be with 5 girls in Huntsville because I don't settle for less. I'm going to tear up the hotel room and make the bed sheets a mess. But first, I got some business with the Rainbow Express. So while all you girls are thinking about drinking a jug of joy juice, let me introduce. And all you clowns, get your asses ready for the man they call Bruce.
From the Rainbow Express, there they are, Lenny and Bruce.
Oh, wow.
What do you think of that?
Wow. Holy shit.
Can you believe, too, that we spent all of this time showing Joel Gertner's rap and their entrance, and we showed none of the in-ring action? Like, during that entire introduction, we didn't show anything that was happening in the ring.
Yeah, I can believe it. Hey, when it comes to putting on a wrestling show, I believe anything. When someone says, hey, can you believe they, I go, yes.
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 That's hilarious.
Yeah. A lot of times our fuck ups do not come across as big of fuck ups to the fans as they do to us. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yes.
No fucking up here. Here comes Rick Steiner.
Yeah, he gonna fuck you up, buddy.
Have you seen his kid, Braun Breaker, at all?
No. I met him years ago, but I haven't seen him. He's become a big star.
Yeah, he's in line for a huge push right now.
Good.
They did a great camera shot on Raw this week where, people like to run around the ring. You've seen that before. They did an aerial shot. So you saw one guy running around the ring on the right and one guy running around the ring on the left, and then he speared him on the other side, but you got like an overhead shot of it. It was cool.
Wow. I bet it was.
After watching WWE TV for so long, where respectfully, there was very little innovation as far as the camera work. They had a style, they had a, sort of paint by numbers. It was still great production, but I'm saying it was the same. There was a sameness to it. It was predictable.
Right.
And since there's been some changes behind the scenes in the production staff, they're allowed to try things and paint outside the numbers.
Yeah. Think outside the box. I've always been really a proponent of that.
You guys did something a few months ago, and I texted you right when it happened because I loved it. And it was Renee standing at the base of the ramp while an entrance was happening. And I was like, and that's so different.
Right.
I liked it. I liked it because it was different.
Yes. And we need to do more of that.
It made me, because it was different, I like quit doing I have to be honest, a lot of times when I'm watching wrestling, it's kind of playing in the background. I'm multitasking. I'm going to play on my phone and be watching wrestling. But when that happened, I quit playing on my phone and I was like, hey, this is different. So this must be important. I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
That's the Wall, brother.
Yes, sir.
But now he's here as Malice.
Right.
What did you think of the presentation of the Wall?
Back when he was the Wall?
Yeah.
I thought it was probably a couple of decades too late. Weren't they going for an East German thing?
Well, yeah, if you remember, Alex Wright, they called Berlin.
Yeah, right.
So he's the Wall.
Right. So I thought all of that was kind of late. He's the Wall is taking care of business, so to speak.
It's written here. Malice came in with the Kevin Nash push, dumping Bruce, K-Crush, Rios, Conan, and Rick Steiner. Paul came in, and he and Jarrett immediately had the most embarrassing spot of the Battle Royal.
Wow.
And then you're going to see Toby Keith come back.
Wow. This is all pretty cool.
I mean, literally a production team that's never really worked together, a bunch of wrestlers who, for the most part, haven't worked together. I mean, first shot out, first time doing the graphics, first time doing the pyro, first time doing the staging, first time for this commentary crew. I mean, for a lot of firsts, I hope Jeff was proud when it was over,
Yeah.
And he's just, I don't know why Scott Hall's cool. He just is.
Yeah, of course he's cool. Hell, he was cool. He was cool when he was Razor Ramon, dude.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And watch these working punches, man.
Apollo was on the top rope and then was like, okay, I'm tired of waiting. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm gonna get down. Scott Armstrong has perfected biscuit making. Have you seen his biscuits before?
No, I'm not a biscuit guy.
He posts some. You're not a what?
Not a biscuit guy. Does that piss you off? Does that piss you off that I like, oh, it just went off. Because I don't like biscuits, Conrad just clicked off. And I do like Boca burgers. I guess that doesn't count.
What the fuck is a Boca burger?
It's better than a biscuit.
Shit.
It's not that I don't like biscuits. It's just that biscuits are just loaded with shit that I shouldn't eat. Now, Boca burgers, on the other hand.
I love you.
Oh my God, Toby Keith's coming out. Toby's going to be in this match?
Yeah, man. Check this out.
He's an entrant? Nobody's making himself an entrant. What is he doing in there? He has no business in there. Right in the face of Jeff Jarrett.
Good slow, Toby. There you go.
Has Jarrett up? What is this?
The fans bought into that one.
Just suplex Jeff Jarrett.
He has just become my favorite country western superstar.
He is the angry American. Toby Keith should be banned from this building. He should be banned from this broadcast. He has no business. Jarrett has been eliminated. Toby.
Anybody do professional wrestling better than Jeff Jarrett?
The best.
I mean, if nothing else, I hope that our podcast, My World, has changed a lot of people's opinion.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people outside the business had a different perception of Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
But man, he understands the assignment. He's out here to show his ass and get embarrassed and run off. And man, that was a great segment. Did you hear that crowd?
Oh yeah. They were going crazy.
Yes.
Just very well done. Toby did a great job. Jeff helped him by going up with him. It was just, yeah. I love Jeff Jarrett.
Meltzer said he did a great job of acting mad. I know some people didn't like how he was portrayed as a tough guy against a wrestler on a wrestling show, but that was just how it was written. I've seen so many celebrities come across as clowns, and this would have worked for mainstream pub if it was 5 years ago and the media thought wrestling was cool.
Right.
So that's a Wildcat Chris Harris. He's going to be a big
Harris, yeah.
for them. I was convinced too that, man, he was going to be a megastar. Of course, we know he had a cup of coffee with WWE, and hey, look, there's your old pal Gangrel, the Vampire Warrior.
Wow. Love him.
How cool was that entrance that you got to see for the first time with him and the former Edge?
Yeah. Brood coming back.
Man, I hope Adam Copeland's leg heals up okay.
I do too. This is not to talk negative of anybody else in the business, but of my time since I've returned to wrestling, there are just a handful of guys that I would call ultimate pros. Okay. Adam Copeland being one, Samoa Joe being another, Orange Cassidy's one, and there's a couple more that I need to put in that group. Okay.
But those come to mind right away.
That's right. That's not to slight anybody else.
Right.
But those guys are just, you ask them to do something, you don't have to find them. Just tremendous. I'm just so glad I was able to work with guys like that.
I hope he heals up. I have really enjoyed his AEW run.
It's been great.
It's been said that, oh, here's our pal Crowbar. He looks like $1 million here.
Christian's run has been great too, hasn't it?
Oh, this is the best stuff Christian's ever done. I've enjoyed this version of Christian more than any version.
Yeah, he is just leaning into this. And Nigel's commentary for him is just spectacular.
How about Nigel with the commentary for Bryan Danielson over the weekend?
Yeah.
One of the all-time great lines.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson was vegan, but he couldn't stop eating brie. My God. My God. Holy shit.
He said, "Do you think I can get away with something like that?" I said, "Yeah, go for it. Who gives a shit?"
Well,
it's
he made
live
some
TV.
sort of boob joke.
Uh-huh.
And you lost it the other night.
Yeah. God, I really have a tremendous time working with him and Taz and Excalibur. I'm really having, when the lights are on, the camera's rolling, so to speak, I'm having the time of my life. I really am.
You know what we should do? There was Taz used to make all the ECW shirts, and he used a specific font for Taz on his tights and on his shirts.
Right.
And he would just put like the T. It was a certain font. And I would love to have that font in orange letters on a black shirt that just says dude. And have you wear that to TV.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of people kind of drew to that, didn't they?
They loved it.
Yeah, dude.
Because what's fun is, boy, you want to talk about a guy, timing's everything.
Yeah.
I loved Steve Corino. I loved him in ECW. I was such a big fan of his. And when he was here, I was like, oh, thank God they're going to do something with him. I mean, I love that he wore the old school Dusty Road style boots.
Mm-hmm.
I just, such a big Carino fan.
Yeah. This is a message to Steve Carino. If you listen to our podcast, Steve, go fuck yourself and go fuck the Phillies too.
I knew it was a baseball thing. I could hear it.
we do have a running thing, he and I. Steve sent me a text. Happy Father's Day. F the Braves. Yeah, Steve's one of the good guys, man. He really is. God, Conrad, and you included, and I don't shake your head, blah, blah, blah. You included. I've met so many great people because of this business. I really, really have. And I've met great people in baseball too. Don't get me wrong. But I've gotten to know obviously the wrestlers more because I'm backstage. I work in talent relations. Just so many great people. And there's paranoia in this business. There's some just petty bullshit that goes on. And I guess that's probably in every business. I'm sure there's petty bullshit that goes on in the NFL in the locker rooms and
oh yeah.
Yeah, and the NBA and other sports, and obviously in movies. But any entertainment field, put it that way, because sports is entertainment. But I've just enjoyed my time getting to know some of the guys. And again, I've said it many times, he'll go, mad bullshit. But my favorite of all time is Eddie Kingston. Just, if you don't like fucking Eddie Kingston, Jesus Christ.
I can't wait to see Eddie come back. I mean, I know we're a long way off, but can you imagine the pop he's going to get when he comes back?
Yeah.
It's going to be a special moment in his career.
Yeah. Eddie and I think the same thing.
Fuck the Phillies?
Of just any person in wrestling or any celebrity or anybody that I say, fuck them. And he says, yeah, I agree with you. Fuck them. We just think on the same wavelength. Look at that sign. Hall was framed. What the fuck? Okay. Glad you got on TV, dude. I'm glad I amplified it.
Here he comes, Brian Christopher. He had been a big star. As crazy as it sounds, the two of Cassio Kid's favorite acts in all of wrestling history, I'm not making this up, are the Bushwhackers and Too Cool.
Huh.
Rikishi, Scotty Too Hottie, and Grandmaster Sexay. That's the way he spelled it, Sexay. Through an A in Sexay.
Right now, the fans are kind of like...
well, they're burnt out on this.
I was going to say they've had enough of this.
They have.
Yeah. How many more we got coming in? My God. And then we still got a world title match to go, right?
I think that's it. I think all the guys are in now.
Okay.
And then we're going to, our main event's going to go like 6.5 minutes.
Ooh, we're out. Okay. Yeah. Cause we don't have that much time left in our show here.
By the way, if you don't have much time left, we want to remind you, you can save some money over at savewithconrad.com. We got a 5-star review just yesterday from Douglas G in Columbus, Ohio. Says, I can't say enough about the experience. It was near perfect. Diane was absolutely amazing. Her communication was amazing. Answered every question I had, and there were a lot, in the quickest manner every time. She couldn't have made the process better or more simple. We make saving money easy, and we would love to help you do that too at savewithconrad.com. We can help you get the cash you need to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. We can even help you consolidate all of your debt. That's right. We can pay off your credit cards, even your car payments. We're routinely helping our podcast listeners save $500, $600, $700, even $800 a month. Heck, last week we helped a family save more than $1,000 a month. Really think about that. They didn't save $1,000 one time. You're saving $1,000 this month and next month and the month after. What would your family do with an extra $1,000 a month? Find out how much money you can save right now for free at savewithconrad.com. And again, you don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket because you've got a friend in the mortgage business. That's me. So let my family help your family save some cash at savewithconrad.com, where we don't say no, we say not yet, but here's how. Tell us what your goals are, both short-term and long-term, and together we're going to make it happen, Captain. SaveWithConrad.com, NMLS number 32416, SaveWithConrad.com. So now it's down to the nitty-gritty. It's our main event. It's Malice, the former Wall, taking on Ken Shamrock. Now, Malice is managed by Jim Mitchell, the Sinister Minister from ECW, or James Vandenberg from WCW. And our special guest referee is who better? Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Meltzer would say it was a real good Japanese-style match, and the crowd was into it. Shamrock's going to do a flying armbar off a chokeslam attempt. Malice waits way too long to get to the ropes. Shamrock gets an ankle lock. Malice makes the ropes. Shamrock doesn't break and pulls him back in. Malice makes the ropes again, and this time Shamrock breaks it. Malice goes for a chokeslam, but Shamrock gets out, hits a belly-to-belly, and we've got a new NWA champion. But we're going to finish with a little bit of a gaga. Jarrett's going to be out again, complaining he's going to get robbed. He's going to punch Bob Armstrong and Dory Funk. Thankfully, he leaves Harley Race and Corsica Joe alone. And Fargo's going to give yet another drunken interview and explain that he's got an opponent for him for next week. And out comes Scott Hall, and they're going to brawl as the show goes off the air. What are you thinking so far as we're home stretching it? We got about 9 minutes left in the program here. What would you rate this first TNA show? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle?
I would say thumbs in the middle. I like the. I thought the Battle Royal maybe went a little bit too long, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I like the opening match a lot. I didn't necessarily like all the girls in the ring and the girls rolling around, nor did I like the small people that much. So I would say thumbs in the middle. Other than that, I liked seeing some of the guys that I had seen before and some of the guys that I was seeing for the first time. So there you go.
Meltzer would say the crowd filed down to about 1,500 and dwindled for the rest of the show, talking about after this when they went to the second taping. Borash and Burt Prentice were begging the crowd to stay and asked everyone to move to the hard camera side so it wouldn't look so bad on camera. Enough people moved and they started taping again.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you know, for a first attempt, I was pretty proud here.
They should have been proud. It was a very good effort. I'm just talking about the act. Maybe I should give it. I should never give anything Jeff Jarrett does a thumbs in the middle. I should always give it at least.
No, he would appreciate you being honest. There's about 3,000 fans in the building here, but unfortunately, it was almost all comps. Only like 400 or 500 people paid, including me and my uncle. I bought those seats, but they gave out like 10,000 coupons all around town for that could be redeemed for free tickets. You know, so
sure.
I don't think that was the original plan, but when they realized tickets weren't selling, they just knew we can't have a disaster on pay-per-view. So let's just get some folks in there.
And it kicked off what was a very important part of wrestling during that era, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's pretty crazy to think, you know, they're still around to this day.
Isn't that something?
I mean, Jerry Jarrett's no longer with us. Jeff Jarrett's no longer involved. But to this day, TNA still exists.
Yeah. And probably because they're doing a deal with the WWE, maybe stronger than ever. Their product's getting more exposure, I would think, by that, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like the nostalgia of it. I was happy to see Matt Hardy go back there, and I was excited to see Jeff Hardy pop in at their pay-per-view over the weekend. That was pretty cool to see people who were a big part of it back involved again.
Right.
Hey, in Real Deal, we want you guys to throw some positive vibes Dave Silva's way. We obviously like to bust his balls, but Man, he must be down for the count for him to miss not one but two podcasts. Like, he's the Iron Man. He's on every show. He never misses a show. But for him to be that sick, man, we're pulling for him and hope that he gets some IVs in him. And maybe you'll fly out there, because I know you're going to have a residency in Texas coming up. Maybe you could help him get some of the poison out.
How would you suggest that? How to get him some of the poison out? Because the way you say that is real disingenuous. But go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, as you recall, you and I did a live show in the Comedy Zone in Charlotte years ago. Our best, one of our best guests we ever had was David Crockett.
Right.
And Crockett told us a story that you and I had never heard before and couldn't believe, about how Ric Flair, before the matches, would sit in the stands with a coat hanger. He'd fashion a loop on the end and jack off the other wrestlers. Don't act like you don't remember that. He told the whole comedy club this story.
Yeah, but I don't think it was. I think it was. Wasn't it Johnny Valentine that did that?
I think it was Flair jacking off Johnny Valentine.
Okay.
But I mean, no skin touched. It was the coat hanger doing the jacking, you see.
Yeah.
I think it was just, Flair was just giving it the old up down.
Yeah.
I got a text from David Crockett over the weekend. It was on Sunday. I want to read it to you. I know you'll get a kick out of that. Here's what he wrote. This is Sunday at 5:01, Father's Day. Ric Flair is flying coach back from LA, 4 exclamation points. I'm trying to get a picture of Ric Flair and coach. I can't believe it. And I said, oh God, please do. Happy Father's Day, crying emoji. And he says, thank you. Happy Father's Day to you too. And then yesterday morning, he says, I didn't get a picture, tear emoji. It was the 7:40 flight from Atlanta to Tampa. And Rick offered the flight attendant $200 to keep him supplied with booze. It wasn't first class, so he made it first class. I thought that was hilarious. So happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And congratulations to Ken Shamrock. He's the new NWA champion. We get the pyro and the celebration. And here comes that post-match angle. What'd you do on Father's Day? Anything fun?
Lois was in visiting Matt and the newborn in New Jersey. And I flew home and from wherever we were on Youngstown, Ohio, which meant I flew home from Pittsburgh. Got home about 2 p.m. The dogs were in the kennel because my grandson Jackson had stayed here and let the dogs out of the kennel, played with the dogs, ate some fruit. Went over to Laurie's house. She gave me a very nice Father's Day present that I should show on the air, but I don't have it with me right now. And that's about it. Heard from the kids, and that was all. I do need to show, and I would you remind me next week that we will show the present that Britt Baker gave me in memory of Bug.
We'll do it next week right here on What Happened When.
And we'll show my Father's Day present for my daughter, which is pretty cool. I think it's worth showing.
Well, we hope that it's worth showing Tony Schiavone how to put some butts in the seats. Later tonight. AEW Dynamite is going live. Tickets are on sale, AEWTIX.com. And finally, thankfully, Tony, all this NBA stuff is over.
Yeah, the Celtics win again, and of course, by all indications, everybody is saying, you know how the media is today. It's just like superlatives, best ever, best ever. They're all saying, "Oh, the Celtics are back, and this is the greatest Celtics team." Bullshit. Bullshit. You tell me there's another Bill Russell playing today? Jesus Christ.
I was just talking about the fact that you're not going to be preempted for it anymore. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. God bless America.
God bless America. Be sure to tune in to AEW every Wednesday, every Friday, every Saturday.
Yeah.
Support your favorite wrestling commentator and talking head, Mr. Tony Schiavone, and go see him live. And certainly, if you can't make it, then tune in on TNT and TBS. And man, we're getting ready to close the show down here. Is there anything that you're looking forward to on the AEW side of things that we can plug or promote?
Well, I'm looking forward to Forbidden Door coming up on the 30th of this month, 30th of June. Then, of course, we're going to be moving on.
You loved watching Jeff punch Mr. Armstrong.
I loved the bump that Armstrong took on the table with his ass up in the air. Oh, and of course, I'm looking forward to going back to Wembley.
It's right in the corner now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's coming up. That's very, very exciting to be able to go back there. There's just some great pro wrestling fans in Great Britain. And London, of course, is a destination in England where everyone wouldn't you just like to smack that fan on the left?
Yes.
Yes. That wasn't you. That wasn't you, was it?
No. But I mean, I know you want to smack me. I get that. I don't take it personally.
Okay.
Do you know how many folks are going to be at Wembley this year? I know it's a big show, but I hadn't been keeping up with that.
I don't know. I don't keep up with all that.
Yeah, I don't really either, but I know that everybody, loves talking about where ticket sales are and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it's obviously going to be like, the biggest show of the year for AEW.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there it was, buddy.
What do you think? Thumbs, now that you've had a chance to really process it.
Okay. I'll give it a kind of a thumbs at that angle.
That angle. Okay.
That angle. The thumbs in the middle is there. If you're watching us on video, thumbs down, as we know, is there. Thumbs in the middle is here. Thumbs up is here. But between thumbs in the middle and thumbs up would be thumbs at an angle. How's that?
Where does Dave Silva put his thumbs?
Probably up his ass. I don't know. What are you looking for?
That's what the only thing I could come up with. I mean, he's a known
thumbs up the ass, Dave
thumbs up
Silva.
the ass. But unfortunately, Tony, right now we got to pull the thumb out of our ass and let everybody know that it's about that time.
Hi, everybody. Tony Schiavone at the hospital bed with Dave Silva. Dave Silva, Dave, you can't eat 5 Whataburgers in a hospital bed. You've been just this sick. What do you mean it does? Okay. Wait a minute. Through the window comes Jeff Jarrett splashing on Dave Silva, and 3 more Whataburgers fly out his ass. My God. From the San Antonio hospital, I'm Tony Schiavone. It looks like Dave Silva is desperately out of time. See you next week on What Happened When. We come to you each and every Wednesday on Cumulus Westwood One, but Mondays we come to you ad-free and exclusively on
Patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com.